International trade is the exchange of capital, goods, and services across international borders on territories because there is a need or want of goods or service. In most countries, such trade represents a significant share of gross domestic product (GDP). While international trade has existed throughout history, for example, Uttara Patha, Silk Road, Emerald Scramble for Africa, Atlantic slave trade, South Roads. Its economic, social, and political importance has been on the rise in recent centuries. Carrying out trade at an international level is a complex process when compared to domestic trade. When trade takes place between two or more nation factors like currency, government policy, economy, judicial system, law, and market influence trade. To smoothen and justify the process of trade between countries of different economic standing, some international economic organizations were formed, such as the World Trade Organization. These organizations work towards the facilitation and growth of international trade. Statistical surveys of intergovernmental and supranational organizations and national statistical agencies publish official statistics on international trade. Factor of international trade occurrence. The occurrence of trade is influenced by various factors. What are the factors that influence it? The existence of a free market economic freedom and liberalism began to be integrated into international trade. Everyone has the right to increase and expand market to sell products trade across borders. Free markets are needed to increase cooperation between countries that tend to increase state income. Economic freedom to trigger individuals or groups to compete for additional market and increase production. Their difference from geographical condition. Each country has a geographic location that is different from other countries, which cause difference in the resource generally. For example, spice ones in tropical areas such as Indonesia. Indonesia has become the largest supplier of spice in many Western countries. Each country cannot meet all the resources it needs to make exchange with other countries. Increasing the development of technology and information or communication now goes through the internet and information technology so that people no longer need to meet face to face. The development of scanning and communication equipment triggered by each country to increase production to other countries its market with the assumption that the country cannot provide goods or services. Technology difference not only difference in natural resource, but difference in human resource can also cause difference in capacities in terms of technology. The difference in technology creates circumstances that can result in raw materials for export to other countries to be processed and re-imported into that country at a higher price. Likewise, if a country can only advance its own technology without the supply of natural resources, it needs help from other countries. 2. Lower cost international trade is thought to generate a wider market and more income than if only produced in one country. While large-scale production can definitely save production costs, international trade benefits not only are they able to get benefit in the form of income and goods that are difficult to find in their respective countries. There are also great benefits from international trade. These benefits include can obtain goods or services that cannot produce themselves due to difference in natural resource, human resource capacity, technology. Can expand the market to increase the advantage of specialization, can accelerate the economic growth of a country, increase currency export. International trade can create jobs in countries, a friendship with other countries, increasing the distribution of a country's natural resources. Types of international trade: export and import. Export and import are a form of international trade often created. There are two types of export, namely regular export and non-regular export. Bartering or exchange goods for goods is still common in international trade. Types of bartering include barter and barter switches. Consignment goods sold by consignment on international market must wait for a buyer to arrive. Usually sellers by open market trade or exchange by auction. Package deal: the part of the package of is a type of business that is carried out through trade agreement with other countries. Cross-border trade from the two countries close to each other to facilitate the residence of each transaction. For example, trade between Indonesia and Malaysia, or Indonesia for trade cooperation with Australia. International trade in Indonesia. Indonesia has been involved in the WTO since 1994, with the issuance of Law 7 of 1995, 1 November to 1994, concerning the ratification of the agreement to form the World Trade Organization, and Indonesia officially becoming a member of the WTO, and its legal agreement is part of nation legislation. As a member of the WTO, Indonesia certainly cannot be separated from various trade liberalization agreements. Free trade in any agreement, both regional, bilateral, and multilateral, provides more benefits for countries that increase competition. It is a tool, not an end, the only ideology. Indonesia's accession to the WTO must lead to better international trade, as well as increasing the economic value of international trade, bringing great benefit to economic growth and improving the nation's welfare. In its development, international trade in Indonesia has fluctuated. According to Cartadata.co.id, Indonesia trade balance in April 2019 was deficit as used $2.5 billion. This level is the dip in history as shown in the chart below. The downturn in performance for export and rising import is back to a trade deficit of more than $2 billion over the past 5 months. The increase in the oil and gas trade deficit almost tripled to use $1 for 90 billion, and the non-oil trade deficit of $1 billion to trigger a decline in Indonesia's sales performance. Indonesia also recorded a large trade deficit of up to $3 billion in July 2013. The increase in crude oil price saw oil and gas imports soar 150% to $1,890 billion. Likewise, non-oil import tripled to 450 million.
Free trade is a trade policy that does not restrict imports or exports. It can also be understood as the free market idea applied to international trade. In government, free trade is predominantly advocated by political parties that hold liberal economic positions, while economically left-wing and nationalist political parties generally support protectionism, the opposite of free trade. Most nations are today members of the World Trade Organization, multilateral trade agreements. Free trade was best exemplified by the unilateral stance of Great Britain, who reduced regulations and duties on imports and exports from the mid-19th century to the 1920s. An alternative approach of creating free trade areas between groups of countries by agreement, such as that of the European Economic Area and the Mercosur open markets, creates a protectionist barrier between that free trade area and the rest of the world. Most governments still impose some protectionist policies that are intended to support local employment, such as applying tariffs to imports or subsidies to exports. Governments may also restrict free trade to limit exports of natural resources. Other barriers that may hinder trade include import quotas, taxes and non-tariff barriers, such as regulatory legislation. Historically, openness to free trade substantially increased from 1815 to the outbreak of World War I. Trade openness increased again during the 1920s but collapsed, in particular in Europe and North America during the Great Depression. Trade openness increased substantially again from the 1915s onwards, albeit with a slowdown during the oil crisis of the 1970s. Economists and economic historians contend that current level of trade openness are the highest they have ever been. Economists are generally supportive of free trade. There is a broad consensus among economists that protectionism has a negative effect on economic growth and economic welfare, while free trade and the reduction of trade barriers has a positive effect on economic growth and economic stability. However, liberalization of trade can cause significant and unequally distributed losses and the economic dislocation of workers in import combating sectors. Opinion about free trade. Economist opinions. The literature analyzing the economics of free trade is rich. Economists have done extensive work on the theoretical and empirical effect of free trade. Although it creates winners and losers, the broad consensus among economists is that free trade provides a net gain for society. In a 2006 survey of American economists, 83 respondents, 87.5% agree that the United States should eliminate remaining tariff and other barriers to trade, and 90.1% disagree with the suggestion that the United States should restrict imports from outsourcing work to foreign countries. Quoting Harvard economics professor and Gregory Mankiw, view propositions command as much consensus among professional economists as that open world trade increases economic growth and raises living standards. In a survey of leading economists, none disagree with the notion that free trade improves productive efficiency and offers consumers better choices. and in the long run these gains are much larger than any effect on employment. Most economists would agree citation needed that although increasing region to scale might mean that a certain industry could settle in a particular geographical area without any strong economic reason derived from comparative advantage, this is not a reason to argue against free trade because the absolute level of output enjoyed by both winner and loser will increase, with the winner gaining more than the loser, but both gaining more than before in an absolute level. Citation needed. Public opinions. An overwhelming number of people internationally, both in developed and developing countries, support trade with other countries but are more split when it comes to whether or not they believe trade creates jobs, increases wages, and decreases prices. Unemployment. Understanding unemployment, the term unemployment is often misunderstood as it includes people who are waiting to return to a job after being discharged. It does not include individuals who have stopped looking for work in the past 4 weeks due to various reasons such as leaving work to pursue higher education, retirement, disability, and personal issues. Also, people who are not actively seeking a job but do want to work are not classified as unemployed. Interestingly, people who have not looked for a job in the past 4 weeks but have been actively seeking one in the last 12 months are put into a category called the marginally attached to the labor force. Within this category is another category called discouraged workers, which refers to people who have given up looking for a job. The categories mentioned above sometimes causes confusion and debate as to whether the unemployment rate fully represents the actual number of people who are unemployed. For a full understanding, one should juxtapose unemployment with the term employment, which the Bureau of Labor Statistics or BLS describes as individuals aged 16 and above who have recently put hours in the work in the past week, paid or otherwise, because of self-employment. Types of unemployment. There are basically 4 types of unemployment. 1. Demand deficient, 2. Frictional, 3. Structural, and 4. Voluntary unemployment. 1. Demand deficient unemployment. Demand deficit unemployment is the biggest cause of unemployment that typically happens during a recession, when companies experience a reduction in the demand for their products or services. They respond by cutting back on their production, making it necessary to reduce their workforce within the organization. In effect, workers are laid off.
2. Frictional employment. Frictional employment refers to U.S. workers who are between jobs. An example is worker who recklessly quit or was fired and looking for a job in a company that's not experiencing a reason. Is not an unhealthy thing because it is usually used by workers trying to find a job that most suit to their skill. 3. Structural employment. Structural employment happens when the skill set of worker does not match the skill unmet by the job available, or alternatively when workers are available but are unable to reach the geographical location of the job. An example is a job that requires recognition to China, but the worker cannot sure requires a work visa due to certain visa returns. It can also happen when there is a technological change in the organization, such as workflow automation that discipline the need for human labor. 4. Voluntary employment. Voluntary employment happens when a worker decides to leave a job because it's not longer financially compelling. An example is worker whose take-home pay is delayed, thus his or her cost of living. Cause of employment. Employment is caused by various reasons that come from both the main sites or employer and then supply side or the worker. The main sites requirements might be used by high interest rates, global recessions, and financial crisis. For the supply side, physical employment and structural employment that play a great role. Effects. The impact of employment can be felt by both the workers and the national economy and can use ripple effects. Employment causes workers to suffer financial hardship that impact families, relationship, and communities. When it happens, consumer spending, which is one of economic case differs of growth, goes down, leading to a recession or even a depression when left unaddressed. Unemployment results in reduced demand, competition, and buying power, which in turn cause lower profit for business and lead to budget cuts and workforce. In turn, it creates a cycle that goes on and on that's it difficult to reverse without some type of intervention. Long-term employment versus short-term employment. Employment that lasts longer than 27 weeks, even if the individual has sought employment in the last 4 weeks, is called long-term employment. Its effects are far worse than short-term employment for obvious reasons, and the following are not a sum of its effects. Some 56% of the long-term employment report a significant difference in their net worth. Financial problems are not the only effect of the long employment, as 46% of those in such a state reported explain started family relationship. The figure is relatively higher than the 39% who are not employment as for as long. Another 43% of the long-term employment reported a significant effect on their ability to achieve their career goals. Sadly, long-term employment led to 38% of the individuals losing their self-respect and 24% seeking professional help. Final word. Employment is a serious social and economic issue that result in a tremendous impact on everything but is often overlooked. As longer system of assessing employment should be put in place in order to determine its cause and how to address it better.
For your life.